May the peace and the joy of the infinite Father be upon you all. And may his light shine down upon you, around you, and within each of you. This is our standard opening blessing at all of the communications. We ask that each of you accept this blessing in goodwill. To begin this day, let us explain a little of ourselves, who we are, and what we are. In order to get a better picture of who we are, you need some information. What lies beyond this material manifestation or your earthly lives? Originally, when all was created, and then a need came for the material manifestation, the divine essence, the infinite Father, the God of all, established what can simply be called, or best be called, the God-made heavenly realms. Once his creations began to work their will, it was a need then to create a second heavenly realm. Since those souls or entities or conscious state beings lost a degree of awareness, and in their confusion, they began to create their own heavens. Their activities brought a need for a waiting place. That today is known as the man-made heavenly realms. When one does not do the best they can, and that is all that is required of them, then they find a need of their own decision to go to a place that can easily be described as a reviewing station and a re-evaluation of who they are and what they are. Then they must, through those concepts that they have created in their earthly sojourn, must work their way back into the material through the process of reincarnation. But if in living your life you have done the best you could with what you have, then you make yourself eligible for the God-made heavenly realms. All decisions as to what state you will be in after leaving the physical manifestation or your earthly lives will be made by you and you alone. This divine essence does not judge you whether you are good or bad, whether you are kind or unkind. That judgment is left to you, because within each of you is a divine spark that contains the Christ consciousness. And when you leave your physical body, you will then examine your entire life, and you will decide whether you need more in the area of growth through the material manifestation, or whether you have made yourself eligible to grow beyond and without a material form. If you choose to grow beyond and without the material form, you will find yourself in the God-made heavenly realms. In that area, which was originally created by the divine, you have three basic levels of growth: the spirit level, the angelic level, and the celestial level. The celestial level can be easily compared to the portico that surrounds the house of the divine. Now, this is purely symbolic, but it is something that you can relate to. It is just before you enter the divine presence. This celestial level is where we exist. Never in the history of mankind has this level spoken to man. All sources of information in the past, at the present time, and in the future will come from the man-made realms. In this God-made heavenly realm, our task is to act as a counsel, to give suggestions to your perplexing problems. We are not here to tell you what to do. We are not here to tell you how to live your life. But we are here to offer suggestions, to encourage you to use the God-given mind that you have, to use the God-given will, to think and to grow, to open yourself up so that the godly state that lies within the very core of your being can come out. For each of you have a speck or spark of the divine in them. What is the nature of your reality? Do you just exist alone, as some philosophies say, that you create your own personal reality, that all that you experience is of your making? No. If it were so simple, but it is not. And if that were the case, then why would so many individuals, so many souls, so many entities create lives of hardship and sadness? What you see is reality as you understand it. But it is not a personal reality or an individual reality. In other words, all those individuals that you must deal with day in and day out, whether they are your spouse or your children or casual acquaintances, are not figments of your imagination, or are not entities that you created for your own growth. But they are entities in their own, just as you are. Reality is a collection of all of you creating together, not as individuals, but as members of an orchestra. You are in concert with each other. The material manifestation of the earthly life is the opportunity to work with other entities in the growth process. It is a giving and a taking. It is a sharing. Why are some lives so filled with problems? Why are some lives filled with so much sadness and sorrow? Why is it some people never seem to go anyplace? They seem to stand still. Let us give you a little example of how life works. Although some of you may find this very hard to believe, initially when you made all the spiritual agreements and contracts to experience life with those around you, your life was planned out so that it would be filled with peace, contentment, happiness, and joy. If this be the case, then why are so many lives contrary to this? Picture your life as a lake, as smooth and quiet as a mirror, piece of glass. Sometime, someplace, at some experience in your life, you reached a crossroads where a decision had to be made. A decision was made. But the decision was not as good as it could have been. And so this caused a ripple on the surface and slightly distorted the clarity of it. So as life progressed, then another crossroads came. Another decision had to be made. The decision was made not through the clarity of the lake or the pool as it was originally, but now that decision is made through that ripple effect. And so the clarity of sight is not there. And again, a wrong decision is made, causing a greater degree of ripples, more ripples, less clarity, less quiet, less calm, less clear. And as life goes on, then each decision is made through this distortion, through this lack of clarity, till finally this peaceful, placid lake, this mirror, is totally distorted. All clarity gone. This is how life becomes a trial. This is how hardships come into being. Once the lake becomes so distorted, then decisions are no longer really made, but instead of decisions, they become reactions to emotions and to situations. Reactions to emotions and situations. How does one begin to correct the situation? How can one return back to that peace, that calm, that still lake? One must begin to think and then act, as opposed to reacting. To change your life, you must begin to act instead of react. What is necessary then to begin to act in a more godly way? A keystone in spiritual growth or development is this: you cannot grow one iota if you do not love yourself. The problem with the world today is that it does not love itself. It loves things, material possessions, but the individual creations of the divine within life do not love themselves. They have lost that insight that they once had to their true value. So the first step one must take is to begin to love themselves, not in an egotistical way, but in a godly way. Then one must begin to respect themselves, to have self-esteem. Again, not in an egotistical way, but in a godly way. You must remember that there is a value to you, regardless of how lacking in love you are or how many things you have done that you are not proud of. There still is a value to you. You have something to offer to mankind that only you can offer. No one else has that ability, that quality, that presence to offer. You are a unique individual, and only you can fulfill your mission in life. No one can fulfill it for you. So in that sense, you are extremely important in all of creation. You are of true value because you have something to give. Don't worry what it may be, but think of giving of yourself. Create a self-image for yourself. Begin to think of yourself as a better person than what you presently think of yourself. Again, not in an egotistical manner, but in the sense of having a respect for yourself, knowing that you do have something to offer that no one else can give. So to change your life, to make it more productive, to give you more in life of what you want, to bring a spiritual development or growth to yourself, first love yourself. Have a self-respect, a self-esteem for yourself. And then create an image in your mind of yourself. Create a positive image of yourself. A helping hand or an essential aspect of spiritual growth is something that your world today dislikes. Most of the world today feels this thing is not good, is old-fashioned, is unworthy. What is this thing? It is discipline. In your society today, the word discipline is a vile word. It's dirty. It's unacceptable. Your society feels that discipline means to do without. This shows a lack of wisdom and insight, because discipline does not mean do without. Discipline means gain control of yourself so that you can have all that you wish in life, so that you can benefit from all experiences, so that you can have a life of peace, of joy, of happiness, so that you can have spiritual growth and all the material things in life that you wish. Discipline does not mean to do without. Discipline means to take control of yourself. Give yourself a direction in life and follow that direction by making conscious, well thought out decisions. Don't react, but act. Gain control of your life. Gain control of yourself. Think. about each challenge that comes to your life, each crossroads that you come to. Discipline means to gain all that you wish to gain. It doesn't mean to do without. Those things that you can control, wonderful. Control them. Those faults that you may have that you cannot control, at least with discipline, you are able to practice a degree of moderation. And so, that which you cannot control, at least moderate it to a degree. The destiny that you have once you leave the material manifestation is not measured by how many good things you have done as opposed to how many bad things you have done. But it is measured by the true heart's desire. There are many things in life that you do that you wish you hadn't done, that you don't seem to be able to get full control on. Will that hamper you from the God-made heavenly realms? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If the circumstances in life have been such that you are not capable of certain things, does this withhold you from the God-made heavenly realms? No. What will allow you entrance into the God-made heavenly realms is when you ask yourself, how much did I do? How much did I really try? The answer that you give yourself will determine which of the heavenly realms you will go to. This divine essence does not judge you. This divine God does not judge you. He does not weigh your good faults and your bad faults. He accepts you just as you are, all the good in you and all the bad in you, all the positive and all the negative. But you see, deep in you is a God in the making, a rediscovery of self, taking that divine essence, that divine spark, that spiritual electricity, and bringing it into the totality of your consciousness, your soul, your physical life, and allowing it to manifest to those around you. That is what life is about. A quality life or spiritual life doesn't depend on how much you have. It depends on how much you have given of yourself. A few points or steps in expressing that godliness that lies within you is to be able to love others without judgment. To be able to accept the need to love without anything asked in return. To love without any strings attached. This is a spiritual love. Another love that you must attempt to practice is the love that you have for your family, for your loved ones, for your spouses, for your children, or your parents. And that is a love of taking care of, nurturing. Another form of love is what is commonly called brotherly love. But it also indicates a friendship love, a respect for other individuals, and a concern for other individuals. There's still another love, and that is a community love or communal love. In this type of love, it is a reaching out. It is becoming active in community projects that uplift the community, that benefit the community, that adds to society as a whole. If you take these different forms of love and attempt to practice them in your life, if you begin to think and act upon a decision as opposed to a reaction, your life will begin to improve immeasurably, because you will have begun to realize your true spiritual potential. You will begin to realize that with all your good aspects, with all your positive aspects, and with all of your not so positive aspects, you have a uniqueness to give to mankind. Your mission in life, and all have a mission, is to offer yourself, your love, to your fellow man. Spiritual growth is not a way of life that asks you to do without, but it is a way of life that asks you to give, so that there is a greater room within to receive. Matter, creation, life, the earth, is in existence because of a consciousness. Your life is in existence because of a consciousness that you have. Matter can be looked upon as the effects, and consciousness is the cause. To change your life into something more positive, filled with greater joy and peace, change your consciousness ever so little, if that is the best you can do, and your life will improve. Your happiness will be assured. Your joy and your peace will be yours. Spiritual growth, and this is an important statement, cannot be gained through the knowledge that you have or the wisdom that you have. It cannot be lost because you may have a lack of knowledge or wisdom. Spiritual growth is gained only by what you do with what you have. This divine essence will accept you as you are if you will only allow that to happen. We thank you.